I'm Paul from the library. Again, thanks to everyone for coming. I want to thank the Lions Club, Larchmont Mamaroneck, for putting this together, the Sandbox Theater Company, LMC TV for filming it. It'll probably be rebroadcast at some point. And the Society for the Preservation of Radio, Drama, Variety, and Comedy for putting this on. And without further ado, here's Phil Oldham from the Lions Club. Say some words. Thank you again, Phil.
I think I'm taller than Ricky. So. I'm going to use the other one, since I'm taller than Ricky. Good afternoon all. Paul, thank you very much. Having had a chance to talk to some of you out there, you already know a lot of the stuff that's coming up, even though I thought you were all too young to even remember Ozzie and Harriet. I will cover one thing up front. The black eye you see here is not because my wife struck me or I walked into a door, but just a sign that I'm getting old and had cataract surgery. So I survived that and moving on. Today I'm actually serving as a stand-in for our Ozzie and Harriet specialist, James Scully, who knows everything there is to know and had put together quite a lot to educate me as well. So we're going to kind of go through this together. The way it's going to work is I will give you a little bit idea of what Ozzie and Harriet is about, the backstory, and then we will have the real main event, and that is hearing a brand new live recreation of the Ozzie and Harriet Christmas show, and then we're going to do a different Ozzie and Harriet actual TV episode. And at the end, for those who are paying rapt attention, we're going to have a quiz with prizes. So if I see you falling asleep, the odds are you're not going to win a prize. So pay attention. All right, quick backstory here. Ozzie was born Oswald George Nelson on March 20th, 1906 in Jersey City, New Jersey. Both his parents were local musicians and entertainers, and it wasn't long before Ozzie and his brother Alfie had joined in. In February of 1921, a local women's club there was holding a dinner dance, but a blizzard prevented the orchestra from showing. So Ozzie's mom volunteered Ozzie and a friend to be the entertainers of the evening, and they were so successful that before long they were playing all over New Jersey. Both Ozzie and his brother Alfie attended Rutgers University. After Rutgers, he went on to the New Jersey Law School, where he both studied law and played music. One Sunday in 1930, he was listening to a local New York radio program. It featured a dance band. An announcer Ozzie knew introduced him to the program director. They gave Ozzie 24 hours to put together a band, which he did. And by the next year, Ozzie and his band were performing all around the New York tri-state area as a well-established musician group. On New Year's Eve, 1931, actually I skipped over the most important one, and that is the next summer, the band became the very first band to perform at our local Glen Island casino. And that was also being broadcast on CBS Radio, which led to most of the rest of this. On New Year's Eve, 1931, Ozzie was performing at New York's Edison Hotel. There he met a very self-assured 22-year-old who danced and announced the bands. Her name was Harriet Hilliard. Harriet was on stage almost from birth. By 15, she came to New York with her mother to study ballet, and by next year was starring on Broadway in a play called The Blonde Sinner. Soon after, she was playing two-a-days on the RKO vaudeville circuit throughout the country. After that New Year's Eve meeting, Ozzie and Harriet were not married, but became a team. In the fall of 1932, Ozzie, Harriet, and the band were playing at New York's Paramount Grill, which included doing 2 radio broadcasts each night, developing their conversational style that became their musical comedy routine and trademark. In the fall of 1933, they signed to do their very first radio series. Ozzie and Harriet were finally married in Hackensack, New Jersey on October 8, 1935. David Oswald Nelson The couple's first child was born on October 24th, 1936 in Manhattan. Eric Hilliard Ricky Nelson was born on October 8th, 1940. All right, on Tuesday, October 7th, in 1941, Ozzie and Harriet debuted on NBC's Red Skelton Show. By March of 1942, the show was the fourth highest on all of radio. Roughly 24 million listeners, which back then was a good number. For 3 seasons, the show's popularity soared, and they became some of the most loved performers in America. But then the Army and the draft called Skelton. He joined the Army on D-Day, June 6, 1944, and without their star, the show was canceled. Skelton's producer, John Goodell, and Ozzie and Harriet both agreed that it was time for the Nelsons to launch their own radio show. The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet debuted on Sunday, October 5th, 1944, on CBS Radio. It was the couple's 9th wedding anniversary. They were billed as America's favorite young couple. Ozzie's big mouth would get him into trouble, and Harriet would gently guide him back to reason. The show remained in the time slot for 3 seasons, but never became a real big hit, so CBS ended up moving it around to different days at different time periods. With this uncertainty, the show's sponsor saw an opportunity, so they moved the show over to NBC. The New Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet debuted on Sunday, October 3rd, 1948, my 5th birthday, as a lead-in to Jack Benny. Needless to say, that did not hurt, but while Benny's ratings remained very, very strong, Ozzie and Harriet struggled. Something was missing. So they decided to add child actors Tommy Bernard and Henry Blair to play the Nelsons' young boys, David and Ricky. The idea worked. That month, Ozzie and Harriet peaked with the highest ratings they'd ever had. Then something truly unimaginable happened. Jack Benny decided to skip NBC and move over to CBS. Without being teamed with the Benny Show, the Ozzie and Harriet numbers fell in almost half in a single month, and it left Ozzie scrambling to try to figure out what to do about it. Desperate, Ozzie and Harriet agreed to allow David and Ricky to play themselves. The rest is radio and TV history. I'd like to have David actually tell his own story right now in a very short interview.
I was 14 when I went on television for the first time, but previous to that, the Ozzie and Harriet show was on radio, and it was on for 3 years prior to my brother and myself joining the cast. We kind of talked our father and mother into letting us be on the radio show because it sounded like a lot of fun. At the time, I was 11 and Rick was 7. We did a couple of previews, and my brother got a lot of laughs, so they decided to put us on the show. I think it was a hard decision for them, at least in talking with them over the years that I've found, because Rick, being 7, could not read yet. He memorized all the radio scripts, but I can recall Rick sitting at a table because they didn't have a mic that would come down far enough to him for him to stand up, but he refused to go on the show without a script, even though he had memorized his part. So he would slide these pages on the table and do the radio show that way. There were several incidents that he got a lot of laughs that he wasn't supposed to.
David and Ricky were not only real kids, but as we will see, they were real kids in real life simply because of the way Ozzie and Harriet raised them. We'll get into that. By the end of 1948-49, the Nelsons' contract with sponsor International Silver was up. Always the businessman, Ozzie negotiated with the then third-ranked ABC network an unprecedented 10-year, non-cancelable contract. It also guaranteed him complete creative control. Under the sponsorship of Heinz Food, the Nelson family moved to the ABC's newly established Friday night schedule on October 14th, 1949. It remained on the radio until 1954, always growing in popularity. Now let us enjoy the primary reason, the main event we're here today, and that is to have the Sandbox players come up and perform brand new, live, in person, the Ozzie and Harriet Radio Christmas episode. Thank you. Since we did not bring along the applause and laughter prompt here, we're going to do that naturally.
We present the amusingly transcribed adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring America's favorite young couple, Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard. Hey, things are pretty quiet in the Nelsons' living room for a Christmas night there. Ozzie and Harriet relaxing in those two easy chairs, and the boys seem to have commandeered the sofa. Well, anyway, by the look of those open gifts piled around the center of the tree, I'd say their Christmas has been pretty successful. And by the looks of those 3 unhitched belts stretched around the centers of the Nelson males, I'd say Harriet's Christmas dinner has been pretty successful too.
It sure was a swell dinner, Harriet.
Yeah, it sure was, Mom.
Well, thank you.
Boy, am I full. I couldn't have had another drumstick even if you paid me.
Well, I'd say we all had our share. Ah, boy, I just want to sit here and relax.
Should I get your new slippers for you, Pa?
Oh, yeah, sure, thanks, Rick.
Well, they sure are swell slippers.
Yeah, very nice.
They cost $5.95.
Ricky, Pa knows who gave them to him.
Well, wait a minute, I'm not so sure, Dave. You see, the card says, to Pop from Santa Claus.
You didn't read the small print.
Oh, okay, well, let's see. Also known as Old Saint Rick.
Just to set the record straight, that perfume Santa gave me was very nice, Ricky.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Well, David?
Don't look at me, little man. I'm sending my thanks straight to the North Pole.
Well, it certainly has been a nice Christmas for all of us, I'd say.
I'll say it has.
Yeah, boy, I just wish it wasn't over.
What are you complaining about? You spent all morning opening presents.
Heck, I'm willing to work straight through the night.
As they say, all good things must come to an end.
Christmas is only half over as far as I'm concerned. We still got another whole week of Christmas vacation. Boy, no more school for 7 days.
Yeah, no report presents for 364 days.
I think you're a little ahead of yourself. We're still celebrating this Christmas.
Heck, with the presents opened and the big meal over, the celebration's kind of dead.
Well, any way you look at it, you've had a very full and rewarding day. Why don't we all just sit back and enjoy a little peace and quiet?
Well, that's enough of that. Come on, David. Show me how to throw a curveball with my new baseball.
Why do you want to know how to throw curves? You always play right field.
No one is my baseball.
Okay, you win.
Come on, Dave. I left the ball in the den.
It has been a nice Christmas, hasn't it?
Yes, it certainly has. Well, it's like my mother used to say about Sunday dinners. It takes so long to prepare, and they're over before you know it.
I suppose so.
Well, Ricky had a point when he said that the celebration was kind of dead now.
Well, the anticipation is so great, I guess a normal letdown has to be expected.
Even the Christmas tree looks a little forlorn. Now the branches are drooping.
The tree's getting old. We put it up pretty early this year.
If Ricky'd had his way, it would have been up the day after Thanksgiving. Harriet, don't you think Rick's making a little too much out of his gifts this year?
Doesn't he always?
Well, yes, but it seems to me he's losing a little bit of the real spirit of Christmas.
I guess he is missing the point a bit, but that's to be expected.
Well, David, too. All Christmas seems to mean to him is 2 weeks without school.
Well, I'd say they're acting pretty normal for a couple of boys.
Oh, I suppose so. But I don't think they realize what Christmas really stands for.
Well, they're still young. It takes time to get the real Christmas feeling.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Anyway, it's nothing to worry about.
You know, that big dinner of yours certainly helped me to get the old Christmas spirit.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm not sure I am. I think I'll take a little walk around outside before I fall asleep.
Merry Christmas, Oz.
Oh, hiya, Thorny. Merry Christmas.
You mind if I drag up one of your porch chairs?
No, not at all. Be my guest.
This is the only way Catherine's plum pudding and I can meet on equal terms.
Apparently, we both had a full Christmas in more ways than one.
Well, mine was wonderful. Best ever.
You must have had a good time.
I'll say. I didn't receive a single necktie. Got 6 tie clips.
Well, you never know. That's the way it goes.
Of course, I know you got one tie. How do you like the pink and orange one I gave?
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful, Thorny. What else can I say? I gave it to you last year.
Oh, that's right. And I've been wondering, which one of us bought that originally?
I don't know. That isn't the only tie I received. In fact, I'll trade you 3 ties for 3 tie clasps.
Well, let's face it, Oz. The best part of a man's Christmas isn't waiting for him under the tree.
Well, it is in one way, Thorny. It was worth a lot just to watch the boys open their presents.
Yeah. You should have seen my boy Will's face when he unwrapped that set of golf clubs.
Isn't he just a little bit young for golf clubs?
Well, he won't be by the time I break them in for him.
You know, I think you deserved those tie clasps.
Will did all right. I just didn't want to put "to Thorny from Thorny" on the clubs, that's all.
Say, wasn't that a lot of fun we had at Joe Randolph's party the other night?
Oh, yeah. How long you had that moth-eaten Santa Claus suit you came in?
Oh, quite a while. I got it when David was about, 2 years old. I used to pretend that I was Santa Claus, and David used to pretend that he believed it.
That was a big success the other night. You certainly added an air to the party.
Yeah, well, the suit has been in mothballs for months.
That was a pretty cute idea Joe had. All of us adults exchanging dollar limit toys.
Yeah. Only Ricky doesn't understand why Harriet came home with a toy iron, or how I happened to show up with a big rubber duck that honked. What did you get?
Well, I'd rather not say. Besides, who ever heard of a toy tie clasp?
Well, it was kind of fun, though. I mean, maybe it was a little silly with all the toys.
I don't know. I liked it. You know, it brought back a few memories of the swell Christmases I had when I was a kid.
You know, Harry and I were just talking about Christmas. After about 5 o'clock, it's all over and you don't know what to do with yourself.
That's true. Seems a little incomplete. I think I'll go have that other piece of pie.
Oh, that's a fine solution. It just seems to me that we could do something more in the spirit of the occasion.
Okay. Let's take a little snooze and I'll snore you a chorus of Jingle Bells.
Oh, that's hardly what I mean. I feel like living it up a little. Hey, I've got it.
What?
I think I'll go in the house and honk my new rubber duck.
Okay, David, boy oh boy, bring one right down the middle.
Hey, you two, the front room isn't the place to be throwing a baseball around.
Aw, don't pay any attention to Rick, Mom. He talks pretty big, but we're just tossing it back and forth.
Well, okay, but don't hit the furniture.
Yeah, it might scratch the ball.
I know it's new, but aren't you being a little overcautious with that ball?
I'll say he is. He wanted me to wash my hands first.
Come on, David, bring it in.
Okay, here it comes.
Put it right here, boy. Right in the old grooves. Ouch! Stop throwing it so hard.
Well, that's what you said for me to do.
What do you listen to me for?
That was just a little underhanded toss.
Well, if I might make a suggestion, Ricky, why don't you use your new catcher's mitt?
What catcher's mitt?
Well, for goodness sake, don't tell me you got so many presents you can't remember them all.
I don't remember getting a catcher's mitt. Why, sure, I wish I did.
I don't think I saw him open that either, Mom.
Come to think of it, I don't either.
Did you really get me one?
Well, of course we did. I distinctly recall putting it under the tree.
Oh, boy. I don't see it. I don't see it. Where is it?
Well, it must be there.
All right, don't anybody move.
Hey, what's all this?
Hey, Pa, have you seen my new catcher's mitt?
Well, don't tell me you lost it already.
I haven't even found it yet.
Well, apparently Ricky tore through his gifts so fast this morning he missed his catcher's mitt.
No kidding.
I didn't miss it. It just wasn't here.
Oh, it must be. I swear I put it right here by the base of the tree.
Well, here, let me give you a hand. Oh, It doesn't seem to be around here or anywhere.
It's not behind the tree.
Are you sure you remember wrapping it, Harriet?
Oh, I didn't wrap it. It was one of those last-minute presents I had gift wrapped at the store. They sent it out yesterday with some other things. At least I'm pretty sure they did.
Maybe it's still in the closet where you hid my baseball.
Well, no, it couldn't be there. Besides, young man, you shouldn't be snooping around the house before Christmas.
I wasn't snooping. I was just taking precautionary measures in case our house caught on fire.
Well, it must be around here someplace.
Maybe it slipped behind the couch.
No, I don't think it's there, David.
Oh, look! Nope. Hey, I guess I'm not the only one who's missing a gift.
Well, why? What did you find?
Those green sleeves Grandma Hilliard knitted for Pop.
Ricky, those are socks.
Oh.
Well, for goodness sake. Well, they must have accidentally slipped behind there while I was opening my gifts.
You opened your gifts in front of the fireplace.
Oh, well, I guess they accidentally slipped in the wrong direction. I didn't think of the fireplace.
Well, that's a fine way to talk.
Hey, you changed the subject right away. From my catcher's mitt?
Oh, we're still looking, Rick.
This is the silliest thing. Say, it's probably just a wild thought. You know, the odds are against it.
What is it? I'll gamble on anything.
Do you remember that dress I had sent out from the same store about a month ago?
Oh, you mean the one that was delivered to the wrong place?
Yes, it was sent by mistake to another Nelson that lives on the other side of town. Mrs. Oscar Nelson.
Oh, yeah. The lady who found it. I went over there and I picked up the dress.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe the same thing happened again. She probably got Ricky's mitt.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, let's hurry over there. She might wear it out.
Well, I don't think it's likely the same thing would happen twice. Although, gee, I guess it is possible.
We could phone her.
Well, she doesn't have a phone. Remember how we went through all the trouble to go down there? She went down to the corner drugstore to look us up in the phone book.
Oh, that's right.
I'll run over in the morning. It can wait till then. Of course, on the other hand, it is still early.
Oh, boy, Pop, I'll get my coat.
Ricky! Oh, give him an inch and he takes me clear across town.
You think my catcher's mitt is here, Pop?
Well, let's hope so. A little longer drive over here than I thought it was.
Pretty old house, huh, Pop?
Well, this isn't the newest part of town, son. It's very nice, though.
How's this work?
Oh, you just spin the handle.
Hey, that's pretty neat. You don't even need any electricity. I wonder what they'll think of next.
Yes?
Mrs. Nelson?
Yes.
Well, I'm Mr. Nelson. That is, I'm Mr. Ozzie Nelson.
Oh, certainly. You're the gentleman that came to pick up a package about a month ago.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, my goodness. Here I keep you standing out in the cold. Won't you come in?
Yeah. Thank you. This is my son, Ricky.
Hello, Ricky.
Hello, Mrs. Nelson.
Now, this is probably sort of a long shot in the dark, but, Ricky was supposed to get a new catcher's mitt for Christmas, but the package seems to have been lost somewhere, and naturally, he's a little concerned about it. We thought that maybe they made another mistake and delivered it to you.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Ricky, but nothing like that's been delivered here.
We thought maybe it arrived here, and you didn't know what it was or something.
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, it was just a shot in the dark. We really shouldn't have bothered you on Christmas night, but, well, you know how our kids are about gifts.
Indeed I do. I have 2 of my own. Kathy's just 2 and Jimmy's 5.
Oh, well, that's a pretty interesting age. I'll bet you and your husband are awfully proud of them.
Well, my husband passed away just about a year ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's a shame.
Yes, those things are kind of hard to understand sometimes, but the children and I have had a nice Christmas together.
Oh, that's good.
We're thankful that we're all healthy. Jimmy got a beautiful sweater, and I got Kathy the cutest little dress and coat.
Did they get some toys too?
Oh, yes. Kathy's got her big teddy bear in bed with her right now. You should see her. She's hugging it as tight as she can and sound asleep.
I can remember when Ricky's teddy bear was the joy of his life. The day he got it, he had to stand on tiptoe just to look it in the eye.
Christmas is a wonderful day. Youngsters seem to get so much fun out of it. Sometimes I think it's a shame that we all have to grow up.
Yeah, sure is. Well, I guess we better be going. I'm sorry to have disturbed you.
Oh, I'm glad you stopped in. Won't you let me get you a glass of apple cider then?
Oh, no, thanks. I don't think so. I'm doing the driving.
Well, I'm sure Ricky would like a couple of cookies.
Oh, gee, thanks. They look good.
Oh, now that's not enough for a growing boy. Come on, take a couple more.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Come on, son. Well, good night.
It's a little late for greetings, but Merry Christmas to you both.
Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas to you, and a Happy New Year.
This cookie sure is good. I don't think I've ever tasted this kind before.
Well, that's a special kind, Ricky. Got a lot more in it than most cookies.
What else, Pop?
Well, you might call it Christmas cheer.
Well, you two were certainly gone long enough. You have any luck?
No, we didn't. She didn't have the catcher's mitt.
She didn't have hardly anything.
What do you mean?
They had a real little Christmas tree. There were hardly any presents under it.
She's a widow, Harriet. She has a little girl and a little boy, 2 and 5.
Oh, I bet she has her hands full. It's a shame you had to bother her.
Yeah. Well, she didn't seem to mind, though. Well, you have to give her credit. She wasn't complaining about anything. She's very cordial, too. Gave Ricky some cookies.
Oh, they were really good, too.
She probably took one look at him and decided he needed some fattening up.
No, I don't think that's what it was, Dave. She seemed like the kind of person who understands small boys.
She sounds very nice. Somebody like that makes you appreciate how lucky you are.
Yeah, I thought of that when I was over there.
We sure are lucky. All the things we got for Christmas.
You know, I wish there was something we could do for her. She was very brave about it, but I really don't think they had much of a Christmas over there.
Maybe we could do something.
I wish we could.
Well, stores are all closed. You have any suggestions?
Well, there's a nice big ham in the freezer. I guess that wouldn't help the two youngsters.
Hey, I've got it. Why don't we give these to the kids?
Oh, by golly, that's a good idea.
I can throw in that toy iron that I got.
A lot of people got little toys at that party. Maybe we could round theirs up too.
Well, I'm sure we can. I'll get on the phone and start lining them up.
I'll go out in the kitchen and see what I can find to go with the ham.
I can drive around and pick the toys up.
I'll go with you, Dave, and help collect the toys.
You sure you guys don't mind doing this?
Heck no, it'll be a lot of fun.
Sure will. Heck, I feel like Santa Claus.
You look more like one of Santa's dwarfs.
Okay, wise guy, come on, let's go.
Yeah, you might as well get started. Now, you fellas know who was at the party, don't you? And I'm sure they'll all come through. I'll be phoning while you're on your way.
Okay, Pop. Come on, Rick.
Wait till I hook up my sled. Boy, what a crazy looking reindeer.
I've got all the food packed, dear. How did you do?
Oh, fine. Everybody came through. They're all going to rewrap their toys so we won't have to do it.
Oh, good. David and Ricky should be back before very long, shouldn't they?
Oh, sure. They've already been gone for a while. They've been in a couple of houses I already called.
Did everyone seem willing to give their toys?
Oh, very much so. You know, Harriet, I think everybody I talked to sort of brightened up when I told them what we wanted to do.
Well, maybe they have the same feeling about Christmas that we did earlier this evening.
Oh, it did seem like something was missing, didn't it? And now there's hardly enough Christmas to get it all in.
Well, I don't mind admitting that I'll go to bed feeling a lot happier and warmer inside.
You know, what pleases me is the way the boys pitched in on this thing.
I'm very proud of them. It's as if they've suddenly grown up a little more. In fact, I guess we all gained a little insight into Christmas.
We sure have. Say, while we're waiting for the boys, why don't I help you clean up some of the wrappings and stuff under the tree?
Lead on, kind sir. I'm always willing to accept an offer like that.
All this ribbon and stuff.
Ozzie, look.
What's the matter?
This package. It's Ricky's mint. Well, to think it must have been right under the tree all this time.
Well, Harriet, we all looked under the tree.
I know. It doesn't seem possible we all could have missed it. It's practically in plain sight.
Well, I'll be darned. I don't know why we didn't see it.
Well, there's one thing I do know. I know that because we didn't see it sooner, 2 small youngsters and a mother are going to be a lot happier this Christmas.
Well, we got the car loaded. Oh,
Well, we got the car loaded with all the stuff. I'll bet we got more than a dozen presents.
Mrs. Dunkel sent along a big jar of cranberry sauce.
Yeah, and Mrs. Thornberry gave us a mince pie, and Mr. Thornberry threw in a real neat blanket.
He said it was an old one they didn't need, but he wasn't fooling us.
Heck no. There was still some tinsel left on it from under the tree.
well, that's wonderful, fellas.
We got a little surprise for you too, Ricky. We found this while you were gone. Got your
What?
name on it.
Wow, I bet y'all it's my catcher's mitt. Golly, look at this. David, what a neat mitt.
You really like it?
Do I? This is what I wanted most. Gee, when I didn't get it this morning, I thought maybe you were mad at me for something.
No, Ricky, nothing like that.
Thanks a lot, Mom, Pop. Hey, where'd you find it?
Well, believe it or not, it was right under the tree all the time.
It couldn't have been.
Well, we agreed, but it was.
Golly.
Well, anyhow, you got it.
Boy, this is sure going to come in handy.
Well, I hate to break this up, but don't you think we better take all the things we've collected over to Mrs. Nelson?
Yeah, we better get going. I bet this is one night she won't mind waking up the kids.
Pop?
What is it, Dave?
Oh, nothing, I guess.
Oh, come on, Dave. What is it?
Well, I was thinking while I was collecting the presents, wouldn't you think it was silly if I put on the Santa Claus suit and sort of, played the part for the kids?
Well, I think that would be wonderful.
Well, I thought maybe Mrs. Nelson could tell the kids that Santa had an awful lot of stuff to deliver and there's just a little late getting there.
Why don't you hurry upstairs and put it on? It's in my closet.
Oh, good. I'll be right down.
That was a nice idea.
Sure was. Well, come on, Rick. Let's get this stuff in the car.
Pop,
Yeah?
it sure was funny the way my catcher's mitt just seemed to turn up.
Yeah, it's very peculiar.
Well, you can hardly believe it.
Yeah.
Well, Mrs. Nelson's son, Jimmy, is only 5. But if it's okay, I'd like to give him my catcher's mitt.
Well, that's very generous, Ricky. But he's pretty young.
Yeah, but it'll grow up fast, too. Besides, I had a swell Christmas Eve. Before I knew about the mitt. And the way it turned up, I don't feel it really should have belonged to me.
I'll wrap it up for you.
Slow, Mom. I'll take this. Can of stuffed out to the car. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
You know what, dear? I have a suspicion that our boys are growing into young men. Very nice young men.
Yeah, I have a suspicion that you are right. Remember what you said about that lost gift being responsible for 3 people being much happier this Christmas?
Yes.
Well, you were too conservative. I know 4 people right here and a lot of swell neighbors who will never have a nicer Christmas.
So, playing the role of Ozzie Nelson, Mr. Steve Taylor. Harriet Hilliard, Kathleen Mahan. The young widow, Emily Goodrich. Playing David and Ricky, real-life brothers, Keith and Carson. And Thorny, Peter Ackerman. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason, and the Sandbox players for obviously a Nelson's holiday. I think we all enjoyed it at this time of the year. As stated before, the Nelsons were very big on radio until 1954, and they became America's radio family, the first for radio. In 1952, Ozzie and Harriet made it onto the big screen in Universal's Here Come the Nelsons. It was a very big hit, in the movie theater, and the country was ready for Ozzie and Harriet to hit TV. The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet made its TV debut on Friday, October 3rd, 1952, my 9th birthday. Hence my connections. All right, before I mentioned Ozzie's business acumen and negotiate an incredible 10-year exclusive deal, with his creative control, he was determined to raise his family as normal as possible, even to the point of establishing their home as the set for the Ozzie and Harriet TV series. And in a second, as we reconnect, you will see what I'm talking about. The Nelson household became a local Los Angeles and Hollywood visiting spot. But as I think what was really important was Ozzie and Harriet's determination that their boys would grow up to be normal boys. And for that, I would like to throw it back to David to speak in his own terms about how that works.
What about you growing up? How would you describe your growing up? There you were, you were stars. The whole time you were growing up for 16 years. That's amazing. How would you describe your childhood?
I think it was fairly normal. I mean, to us, it was normal because it was the only childhood we knew, really. But we always went to public schools all the way along,
right,
and had friends outside of show business. So I think we could kind of balanced everything off, really.
Well, your dad, being the producer-director, had control of the show, and I think it probably would have been different or a little strange had we been child actors, quote. He arranged the shooting schedule so we could have football practice and whatever we were doing, so...
It wasn't like you missed something to become stars or something like that.
It would have been tough if we were growing up in Nebraska and had a television show there. But being in Hollywood, so many of the kids are either involved with the show business families or their parents are behind the scenes, and it was fairly normal.
Thank you. Again, Ozzie and Harriet stayed on TV for 14 years, completing its run in 1966. Ozzie and Harriet and Ricky and David became television's TV family for all of that period of time. As the country watched and heard David and Ricky grow from, as you heard, a 7-year-old boy straight through becoming a teenage heartthrob for Ricky and launching his music career, where he became the very first television to music superstar. Ricky Nelson is probably known today more for his own singing career, but as you can see, it was a unique, not only television experience, but a unique experience for a family in Hollywood. And on that, I would like to, again, thank our Sandbox players for their live recreation of Ozzie and Harriet for the radio. And I would now like to present the Ozzie and Harriet television Christmas special. Different story, but still David and Ricky, Ozzie and Harriet.
The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family. Here's Ozzie.
You enjoyed it. As indicated earlier, for those who are paying rapt attention, I have a couple of prizes for anyone who can answer a couple of questions related to what you heard and saw today. And all you do is raise your hand when you think you know the answer. We're going to start off with the Nelsons began as a couple on a radio show in which the host was drafted into the Army. Who was that host? I see a volunteer right here.
It's Red Skelton.
Red Skelton, you have just won yourself a DVD of not only the show you just saw, but actually a DVD that included the original version of the reenactment.
Oh, yes, we see on DVD.
Thank you. All right, next, as you know, they then became a superstar success when they moved over to NBC, preceding another fabulous television and radio star. And who was that person?
Jack Benny.
Jack Benny. We have another winner. Then I'm going to give you a tough one. I mentioned a bunch of dates in the presentation, and I specifically mentioned the premiere of their radio show on NBC and the premiere of their TV show on ABC, and they both premiered on a specific date. So can anybody remember what that date was?
Your birthday.
All right. Since you already got one, you can't have another. So since they recognize my birthday, and what, anybody else know what that date? Remember what it was?
October 3rd.
October 3rd. I expect a present on my birthday when I see you next October 3rd. You don't have a DVD player? I'm not gonna get it. So, I believe the other choice came here. So my birthday is October 3rd. And if you were paying attention, October was kind of a standard month for them. They got married a month, they premiered virtually everything. I think the only thing that was not in October was Ricky's birthday. Even David was born in October. So everybody enjoyed the month of October. When you get to October next year, think Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. And Phil. All right, again, I want to thank the Sandbox players for a fabulous production. Again, I'm a strong fan of audio theater and seeing people really get up and take on characters in a way that they don't do when you're on a stage and having to memorize lines, and everything is all about the environment. And audio drama and audio theater, those voices create the drama, so I thank them all very much for that. I specifically want to thank Jason, and I want to thank LMC Media for being here to record this with us and be a partner with it. And it was mentioned earlier, this was done in cooperation with an organization called SPURDVAC. SPURDVAC is a national group that's goal is to preserve classic radio and also promote audio theater, something both Diane and I are members of, and we really enjoy what they do. So I thank you for that. I would now like to bring back Paul to, again, thank him, and on behalf of the Larchmont Mamaroneck Lions Club, to thank Paul and the library for partnering with us on this, and as we did once before with an Ozzie and Harriet Halloween, we look forward to future times of Ozzie and Harriet here in the community center. Again, thank you all.
Thanks, Phil. Thank everyone for coming, and good night and happy holidays.